Guys, welcome back to RBR and say hello to the final swan song to the B9 series of the RS4. This is the RS4 Avant Edition, 25 years. It pays tribute to the original RS4 Sport B5 and is a limited car. It's the most powerful RS4 ever, and it may well be the last pure combustion RS4 as well. So a really special car. So guys, today I'll show you every detail of this special edition, the performance enhancements that they've done on top of the competition. There's even a bunch of gifts that you get with the car, some of which you can see on me now. And we'll check out the icon that inspired this car to be the swan song for the B9 before going out on some worthy Spanish roads and seeing what this final pure combustion RS4 is like. So let's check out together this Audi RS4 Avant Edition, 25 years. Guys, today's episode of RBR is once again sponsored by our most fun and useful sponsor, Manscaped, and they're back with a new package that's going to revolutionize your male grooming. It's called the Beard and Balls Bundle. Yes, you heard that right, and your balls will thank you. With this, you get their incredible Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, which is their latest shaver for down below, and my favorite, the Beard Hedger. This, I'll get back to this in a sec. I love this thing. Let's start with their most famous product, which is the Lawnmower. And this is the 5.0 Ultra, and it's been upgraded. It's better than any other one that they've done before. Now, it comes with two blades. First, we have our original blade, which has now been upgraded with a longer blade, which is wider. It's got rounded teeth to cut through hair with ease, which only makes it better than all the ones before. And now you get a second one, which is the foil shaver blade. It's easy to put on. And this is just like the handyman foil blade that we use to get that super smooth neck finish. This is the same for down below to get you a super smooth finish like nothing you've had before. And of course, they've got skin safe technology and you can use them in the water because they're waterproof. So that's the versatility of the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Then, my favorite, the Beard Hedger. I go everywhere with this. When I'm traveling, when I'm doing all the press trips on these cars, etc. This thing stays with me because it gets you just the perfect beard finish every time. Mine's looking quite battered and tattered, but it still works as well as it did day one. It's USB-C, it's got 60 minutes of charge time. I don't even remember the last time I charged this. And the best thing about it, you've got this wheel on here where you can choose the exact length you want. It gets it right every time. And it just gives you a consistent, reliable shave. And of course, skin safe technology, and you can use it under the tap and in the water because it's waterproof. So guys, that's the powerhouse. This is the Beard and Balls Bundle. And of course, as an RBR viewer, you're gonna get a great discount. It's 20% off plus free international shipping. Use the code RBR and go to manscaped.com. So remember, that's code RBR at manscaped.com for 20% off. Guys, a huge thanks for supporting our regular sponsors. It keeps the channel going, and a huge thanks to Manscaped. Let's get back to that car. So guys, welcome back to sunny Malaga in Spain, a place where I should probably buy a house by now because I'm here so much doing stuff for you guys. And here is the swan song for the B9 RS4. This is the RS4 Avant Edition, 25 years. A long name for a very beautiful car, and this pays homage to the original Audi Sport car. No, not that one, not that famous RS2 that was made with a bit of Porsche help, but actually the first ever car to be made by Quattro GmbH, which later was renamed into Audi Sport as we know it today. And that was the B5 RS4. And this really set the blueprint of how they would do it going forward. It was a widened car, particularly the Sport, which sat lower on its suspension. We had track bucket seats. We had a fruitier exhaust, 380 PS, still an icon today. Luckily, I've actually got one here physically to show you as well. Let's have a look at this legend together. So guys, follow me back here. Let's check out the B5. So this is the RS4 Sport. And as we said, a number of changes. Sits lower thanks to the suspension changes. It's in that wonderful yellow color matching our Imola Yellow car today, which is really why I think you really got to get that car in this color, right? To make it work. You don't have to, but to me, it all makes sense with the watch and everything. It's still beautiful today, right? This is really the first car from Quattro GmbH, now Audi Sport, as opposed to the RS2, which is so much more famous, but the first official car was this. And it just looks the dog's nads, doesn't it? Just kind of like they widened the body on the cars today. We had 380 horsepower. This one was more special, like we said. I mean, just look at the interior here. These bucket seats will look familiar to you from the era. So many great sports cars back then had these. Got an actual suede steering wheel as well, which you don't see today because everyone does the fake stuff. Look at that. Nice and thick like me. And the interior is lovely, even today. This one has hardly done any miles. Audi heritage, very, very kind of precious about this car, understandably, but it's gorgeous. It's really, really nice. I mean, that is just a great looking car, even today. And that's obviously why they've based our new one on this. Let's actually go and have a look at the new one, because there's some nice things about it. So there's your new car. Like we said, Imola Yellow. If you've seen the competition, it's going to look very, very similar because the basis, of course, as we said, is the competition. A bit more camber, offset is more, so it sits a bit wider. But there are a few differences as to what they've done in terms of trims and other bits and pieces to make this a little bit more special, and I'll show you those now. But generally, I mean, I still think, in my opinion, the RS4 is the quintessential Audi. It's my favourite one to drive in the modern lineup, even over the RS6 and the RS6 Performance. I just love the way this car sounds and feels. So let's have a look around it. There's a couple of little things. First of all, you'll notice we've got the competition wheels, but finished in a different way here. So these are like a bi-colour, but you've got the milled finish on the inside and then the matte black on the outside, which is actually really quite nice. But then they've replaced the trims that would normally be either gloss carbon or gloss black, and we've got a unique matte carbon fibre all over the car, which they're starting to use more on their more premium cars now, or their special editions. You see it down here as well. And again, that suits the whole Imola Yellow theme. On the back here, again, something that they're doing more on the newer cars, which is putting the name of the car in case you forget it. I don't get it, but fine, whatever, to each his own. And then on the rear, black Audi rings, still the old style, which I'm missing now because they're using those 2D ones in the new car. And then you've got this black inlay within the lights, which they've not done before. And that's unique to this version of the car. And again, you see the matte carbon fibre going around it. So it's all quite, it's nice. We love the competition anyway, right? And this just builds upon that. Still wide-bodied, nice and wide stance thanks to the offset as well. Now, you don't have to get it in Imola Yellow if you don't want to. You can instead get it in either Nardo Grey or Mythos Black as well. Then you look at the interior. The interior, they've really gone to town on. Again, I think because they wanted to make it look special versus what the B5 was looking like, this is what you end up with. You've got the new carbon bucket seats like we saw in the competition, but stitched in a unique way with lots of dynamic. You've got the hexagonal pattern, RS4 in yellow, which is nice. RS4 in yellow on the floor mats, which we've not had before. Nice Audi exclusive badge there. The steering wheel, actually quite special. This one is an optional extra at 2,200 euros because it's actual suede as opposed to the fake stuff, just like we found in the B5 car. So it's the same material. So if you really wanted to match that car, that's the one to go for. And it's nice because I've not seen that in a car for quite a few years. The gloves over there I will explain in a second, but yeah, that is a really nice looking interior. So this is a really nice interior. I'm a big fan of these carbon bucket seats, and they look even better with the yellow. All the yellow elements really making this interior pop because the rest of the material is really nice and dark. You got the matte carbon fibre, as I showed you, the Edition logo, lots of, oh, you actually have real suede on here as well, the gear selector, that's nice. Every car also gets badged with its actual number, which I think is important for a special edition. Then you'll see the matte carbon fibre theme continues on the inside as well. And I love this steering wheel, it's beautiful. This element is so much nicer than what they've got in the newer Audi cars now in terms of the airbag, etc. That just really works for me. You've got a nice 12 o'clock stitch there as well. And the other cool thing that you get in this, that you don't get in any other Audi, is white dials, which are kind of a throwback to the white dials that you had in the RS2 Avant, the original one. Of course, you can change the displays here in the virtual cockpit as you've always been able to, but these are unique to this car at the moment with the white circles. So like, why wouldn't you have it? It makes total sense, right? Still sounds so good. Man, I need to show you what this sounds like. Part of the many things that you get with this car are these gloves. These are by Alpine Stars, and you can see it says RS4 Edition 25 years. So these are the first of 3 total extras that you get for free when you buy this car. I say for free, it's a more expensive car, right? But be that as it may. This is the second one. So come and have a look at this. Comes with the car, RS4 25-year edition watch. Again, finished in the yellow, so it kind of makes sense to do the whole thing in yellow. And the final one, so everyone who buys the car also gets a second set of wheels. So they're the same forged ones, nice and light, as you can see, finished in matte black, but they come with semi-slick tyres. These are P0 Pirelli Trofeo RS tyres, and literally semi-slicks. So they really do want people to track this, don't they? With the gloves, the tyres, the whole thing. I think it's kind of cool, and it's some nice value added to someone who's buying what is essentially the last pure combustion RS4. So I like it. Now, in terms of the performance, let's talk about this. Of course, it is based on the competition that we've already reviewed. That means that we have that wonderful V6 biturbo still in this, but finally now it has a bit more power. We're talking 20 PS more, the same Newton meters at 600, and an improved 0 to 60 by 0.2 versus even the competition, and half a second versus the normal car at 3.7 seconds. So it's great to have that. That was one of the things that a lot of us said back then, that why not just give a nominal power boost, and this car does have that power boost. That comes with the same 8-speed Tiptronic gearbox. Of course, we've got Audi Sport quattro differential with 85% power going to the rear. More important than all of that is Audi's Pro suspension here. This is the same one, again, that we saw in the competition, that's completely manually adjustable with stiffer spring rates, rebound adjustment, damping rate, and a lower ride height of 20 millimeters less than the standard car, which gives it this nice stance. But speaking of stance, this has got more negative camber than the competition as well by 2 degrees, and we've also got a different offset, as we said, so the car sits a little bit wider, so it looks really, really quite nice in its stance. The wheels too, 2 kg lighter per corner, and then the carbon ceramics, which come standard, have a massive weight saving. Altogether, this car weighs just 1,650 kilos, which is a whole 100 kg lighter than the standard RS4 Avant as well. And that's including that lovely 8 kg lighter sport exhaust that we just heard, which sounds amazing, and I can't wait to hear it on the road. We're about to go out, we're about to drive this now. Before we do that, I do want to address the future. We mentioned it last time when we spoke about the competition. There is a new Avant shaped car of this style coming, which is a combustion car, or a hybrid rather. It's not going to be called the RS4, it's probably going to be called the RS5 Avant, because Audi are renaming their cars for the odd ones to be the combustion cars and the even ones to be the EVs. I know it's very confusing, but that is coming, and the rumor is it's going to have a V6 like this, but with a whole hybrid system. So it'll probably be a lot more powerful, have a bit of electric range, etc. Who knows? It's just rumor. What we do know for sure, now that the spy shots are showing a lot more, is that it does look absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to see that. But then this car is the last combustion one, so it's special in that regard, right? So let's go for a drive in it. I love that competition so much. I can't wait to see what this is like. I always do this, right? When I get into a competition version of these cars, and the first 10 yards Listen to this thing. Oh my God, do I need to start looking online for an RS4 competition? Because these cars just sound so bloody emotional. Listen to it. Oh, it's one of the best sounding modern engines, this. It really reminds me of why a V6, in my opinion, is just superior to any inline six. This makes my M2 sound like a lawnmower. Honestly, this is just beautiful. The reduction of the sound insulation, the lightweight exhaust system, I love it. Alright, seriously though, I'm not actually cool enough to wear these. So let's just dispense with that. Let's drive this car in anger. Can you tell by the smile on my face just how fun this is to drive? I've said it time and time again, and sometimes even I need a reminder why this is my favourite Audi. Let's remind ourselves why we love it. First of all, the handling, so keen, really nice turn in, power on exit, quattro system delivers feeling, quite rear wheel drive actually, which is nice. And you wrangle it. It just brings a smile to your face. This is Audi Sport. This car is Audi Sport, right? It is the epitome of this brand. I think this is why, and I hope the rumours are true, that the V6 will remain with a hybrid system even going forward, because we need it. We need this emotion. We need the RS4. Like we said, the first proper car from Quattro, and it needs to be maintained in the lineup. As for this, as a swan song to what's been a really, really great, and it was a rocky start for B9 actually, because it wasn't, you know, anywhere near as emotional as the rivals when it first came out, but slowly over time, like it kind of sits above them in a lot of ways. Not always, but in a lot of ways, it's my favourite. This is the cool thing about this car, like, you know, you accelerate and you're going slow, but it feels special immediately. And isn't that so important about a special edition? That thing of immediately being endeared to the car, like straight away, and then looking forward to driving it every single time that you're in it. That's what this car does. The other good thing about this car is the gearbox, how the upshifts, they're so nice, they're so emotional. You get a nice little, like a bark whenever you do it. But more than anything, it's responsive. It's more responsive than the standard car. Honestly, I think the shifting experience, like compared to my M2, which is a powerful inline six car, with a torque converter, this one's just more exciting. Do I feel more power? I need to drive this back to back to the comp or the standard car to say it never feels slow. That car never felt slow either, which is why I never really thought it was a downside to not having more power. But as I've always said with special editions, have the nominal power increase, because again, it makes it feel special. It makes it feel desired. It will keep the value of the car higher. So that's a good move there by Audi Sport. Lots of good moves here. Let me tell you something, guys. We, as a community, are going to miss cars like these. Cars that are pure combustion, lightweight, emotional, really, you know, bare basics. This is a bare basics car still, in a lot of ways compared to the newer stuff, in a lot of ways compared to what's coming. And we're just going to miss them, and we're going to treasure cars like these, so it's great. This is what it's all about, man. This is why we cry foul of cars that have the wrong engine setup, cars that are just purely EV, because things like this have existed up until now. I think I'd go as far as to say in the last 3-4 years, this is one of my top 3 and best sounding cars that I've driven, you know. It's just so well done, and as a V6, as a wagon, as a daily car, it's really hard to beat. It's nice then that Audi's spent the time to make not just the competition, but to go a step further and make this one, and they make the performance models. They care. They care about the petrol heads. They are petrol heads at Audi Sport. Yes, they do some really, really good looking EVs as well now, like the e-tron, but even those cars, you kind of feel at the heart of it there are people like you and me who love this ilk of car kind of telling them where to go on it, right? I have a feeling now, like a lot of you guys do as well, I'm going to have a tab open for RS4 competition, and I'll be searching and keeping an eye on the price of those cars, because every time I drive this, I'm just brought back to how enjoyable it is. And that's not just fast, because with this Pro suspension, it is brilliant in terms of handling, but it's just driving it slow as well, which is what I really look at when it comes to performance car. It can't just be good when you're going nths and tenths, it's got to be good all the time. And I love this car. I had a thought earlier, just, is this the best Audi Sport car? Like, is it literally just the best one? I can't think of one that I prefer. It's an Avant. It's got a brilliant engine that sounds fantastic. It handles really well. It's lightweight. I can't think of anything that's better. Honestly, I just can't. It just ticks all of the boxes. Yeah, I think nail hit on the head firmly.